Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Geek podcast, where we celebrate geek, nerd, and pop culture. Each week, we deliver the best analysis for fans, by fans, on anything related to movies, TV, video games, comics, anime, and manga. We talk geek. And now, here's the Get Geek podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Get Geek podcast. My name is Walt, and I am joined here today by my two other hosts. We're missing two hosts today, but that's okay. They'll be back next time. Gabe and AJ, say what's up.
What it do?
All right. And just before we get started, let's get some maintenance out of the way. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the Get Geek podcast. We are on all podcast apps available. That includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. I mean, you name it, we're on it. So definitely go check us out. That's the best way that you can help this little podcast. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about something momentous that happened over on the left coast, right? We're talking about the San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Gabe, let's go.
So what it do, guys? I mean, dude, this Comic-Con, it didn't feel like Comic-Con. It felt like the
Do we need to
Marvel,
rename?
the Marvel expose.
Yeah, we need to rename these Comic-Cons now? Because sometimes Marvel shows out, right?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, for sure. I mean, and not just this, but like some of the other events, like gaming expos, become like singularly a Sony or a Microsoft expo and stuff. So it's interesting how this stuff is working, or maybe it's just us as specific fans only see what we want to see. You know, because a ton of things came out at San Diego Comic-Con. You know,
Yeah,
DC had a showing. We had some other stuff that's exciting. You know, you nerds out there with Dungeons and Dragons, I guess.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Those isn't that the same thing though? Isn't it really just the same thing?
Well, it's funny because we were watching the first Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, yesterday, and I made the exact same comment. I was like, you know what? This is basically Dungeons and Dragons, and it's interesting because the Tolkien group, I guess, did at one point sue Dungeons and Dragons for them using their names and their products. So definitely. We also saw a House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones thing, which was interesting, and we also saw some John Wick 4, which I was definitely into. You know what I'm saying,
dude? Oh my god, you have no idea. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started on some stuff. I want to kind of get through some of the stuff that we saw at San Diego Comic-Con, but then quickly move on to like the big Marvel stuff. I mean, there's one thing that stole the show. And we'll get into that, which is, you know, might as well say it now, is the Black Panther teaser. It's a teaser trailer. I couldn't believe that it was a teaser trailer. That like was just insane.
I thought you were talking about I Am Groot.
No, not Groot. Groot did not steal this show.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. but yeah, no, but so before that, let's real quick, John Wick 4. All right.
Yeah,
those of you guys out there know that I'm a lifelong martial artist. And there's something that's kind of cool about John Wick, the movies, is that each movie has a very specific kind of targeted martial art that they want to display in the film, right? Mm-hmm. In the first one, I can't really pinpoint the very, very first one. I think it was more about the gun fu than anything else. But then the second one was they wanted to show a lot of jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu specifically.
Yes.
Then the third one, they wanted to show combat Sambo, which is the Russian fusion of striking, judo, and jiu-jitsu. And then in this one, very specifically, they show John practicing on a very staple tool called the makiwara, which is a board that's wrapped in dried straw rope, and that is very, very specific to Okinawan style karate.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love I would love to see some very traditional, old school classic karate martial arts concepts in there, mixed in with all the other gung fu, judo, jujitsu, wrestling moves, everything that we see in there.
What?
I think it's kind of cool. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, they showed off. It was really a teaser at best. What was it, like
Yeah, for
maybe a
sure.
minute and a half?
It wasn't long. It wasn't long. I mean, how much more? You don't see. John Wick is one of those films that you don't need to show anything, and everybody will
Right.
just go. We know what we're in for. We know that we're in for some badass martial arts, some awesome, tactical shooting, nightclub vibes all around. Because apparently he doesn't do anything during daytime.
I know.
And
And
yeah, so
we got some
just
Donnie Yen.
and we got some Donnie Yen.
Oh my gosh,
All right,
that
so
is
now
going
here's
to be
here's here's the
amazing.
question that I have, right? Um, do you guys think that this is the final film? It feels like there's a little bit of finality to this teaser trailer. The way that they said that like not even you can kill everyone. It just kind
Yeah,
of made it feel like this might be him meeting his maker kind of thing.
yeah. I don't think there's a lot more to go with this storyline,
What
because
are you talking
this.
about? John Wick.
No, I know. Well, also remember though, we're getting the Continental as a series, right?
Yeah, yeah, we
Um,
are.
but this whole thing started with a dead dog, his dead dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of going now to the dismantling of that assassins. I forgot what the name of the assassins
I
group
did forget
is.
also.
Yeah,
Actually, I did forget also.
but it looks like this does, like you said, look like a finale of sorts.
It does a little bit, yeah, and
Which is
and
going to be a shame.
yeah, I mean, Keanu Reeves can't do everything for the rest of his life. I mean,
Yeah,
it would have been cool to like see them usher in though. Like, what would have been cool is them
John Wick
kind of
Jr.
something like that, like the same way that like he kind of had nothing to live for except for
Mhm.
his puppy that they took away. He takes in another stray and then teaches them the ways of John Wick Fu. Um, and then eventually he steps away and this becomes the next step.
Well,
It would have been cool.
I do appreciate the fact, if this is the finale, that the director and the people involved recognize that, what, we have a story to tell and we're going to end it the way we want to, instead of dragging this thing out and making like 7 or 8 or 9 sequels. Mission Impossible, I'm looking at you. Where it's like, after a while you kind of lose the excitement
A
of the
little bit.
franchise. You know what I'm saying?
That being all right. That being said, real quick on the Mission Impossible, the next one that's coming out has some finality to it. But I love that some of the cast from the original are coming back, which makes it feel like it's going to be the end.
Oh, okay,
So I
that's
am
good.
excited about that. You haven't seen the trailer?
I have not, but you know what? It goes to my point. It's a Mission Impossible movie. I'm not really that
Mm-hmm.
enthused. Now, maybe
I think,
if I see the trailer, maybe I'll
yeah,
think different.
I think that you should see the trailer because we got some of the returning cast from the very first film coming back, and it really, really does feel like it's the end.
Okay.
And I do one thing with Mission Impossible is that I feel like they got away from what made the first Mission Impossible so awesome.
Hmm.
You know, they made it. They made the stunts maybe too big and the schemes too grand
Yeah, they
and all
kind
that
of got
stuff. They
away
kind
from
of
the spy craft that was in that first movie.
yeah. It was too much tech and stuff. So
The
I
mission. I'm sorry.
no
Go
no
ahead.
no go on.
The Mission Impossible movies feel like the Fast and the Furious of spies. It really does, because the original movies had a certain feel to them, and then we got to the point where it's like, okay, it's all about the stunts. Let's see how we can top the last movie.
Well,
Stunts.
that's a Tom Cruise thing though.
Yeah,
But then again, we got Maverick, which I mean, you guys got. I mean, Maverick was so good.
yeah, I know. I have to see
Back
it.
to John Wick though.
Yes,
Do we really want John Wick to end though?
I
AJ, what do you think?
guess I'm indifferent Because I mean, like, they're good movies, but this should not be 12 movies in. No.
There is, it's, I mean, 5 or 6 more. I'm good. That brings the total to
No.
9 or
No.
10.
Star
Fine.
Wars did 9. Look where 9 got you.
We're gonna have to do a retrospective very soon on Star Wars.
Yes, we
But
do.
that's a conversation for a different podcast. Another big thing that came out from the other comic book house, DC, Black Adam, which, on Friday I was like, oh, this is good. This is the biggest thing coming out this weekend. Black Adam
Mm-hmm.
looks super dope. The trailer we've already seen, we've reacted to. It does look really cool. But again, always have my hands on the eject switch very quickly because of DC's amazing trailers yet terrible flops at the box office. So,
Well,
um,
I'm gonna have to say the trailers have me a little bit underwhelmed when it
really,
comes to because
to
we
Black
saw
Adam,
the Black Adam was okay, but not spectacular, you know.
probably because we kind of saw we saw a Black Adam trailer already months ago now.
Yeah, the Shazam trailer didn't do anything for me,
I mean, you guys
and
already know I'm not a fan of Shazam, so
well, I liked the first one. I thought the the Shazam trailer kind of felt meandering. Like what was the point of showing that trailer? I
I didn't
didn't
see
get.
the trailer, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. The
But to
trailer
be fair, like I
felt
said, like
meandering.
you know what it is. I enjoyed the first film, um, as an enjoyable kind of
Right.
film
It
or
was
whatnot. But
fine.
it's just the character Shazam doesn't inspire anything in me. It doesn't make me want to go check it out. That's the thing. So, I mean, it would have to be an absolutely spectacular trailer for me to really be clamoring to go see it.
Well,
So
I am gonna say this about the Shazam trailer, which again has me a little confused because we had the announcement from Jim Lee, uh, talking about how the Snyderverse is officially dead, right?
really,
Yeah, we had that. He said we're not revisiting that. That's not a thing anymore. But
Any more?
yeah, it's done.
there was thoughts. I mean, the whole thing with like the Snyder cut being revealed and all that stuff and being made
Yeah,
rather and all
Oh,
that
okay.
stuff,
he
where
put
they
that
were
to
like,
rest.
oh yeah, wow, really, damn, Jim.
But the thing that confuses me is that we now pivot to the Shazam trailer, which was a couple of days after that announcement. And who do they show? They show Aquaman, they show Wonder Woman, they show Ben Affleck's Batman, you know. And it's like, well, you just finished saying that the Snyderverse is dead. Why are you now refocusing on those characters in this movie? You know,
To all right,
it
to be
seems
fair,
like
just to play devil's advocate, to be fair, the characters don't make the Snyderverse, specifically. Like
no,
the
I
actors,
know that,
So
but
they
it
still they
just
still need to use those characters.
I feel like they're moving away from that though, and the whole thing about, and we're gonna now pivot back to Black Adam because something very interesting happened during that presentation. Um, the thing with that is that Black Adam. A question was asked of The Rock. And let me tell you something. The Rock's entrance into that presentation was incredible. He came out with the full Black Adam costume, and behind him, choreographed perfectly, as he raised his hands, you had the lightning on the screen as if he was shooting it out. So kudos on him. He's the ultimate showman, right? Even going back to his days in wrestling, the Rock knows how to make an entrance.
Yeah,
He
that he
really
does.
nails it, right? But the thing about it, he was actually booed at that panel.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
you
understand
were
that.
mentioning
Why?
you were saying what's the question that was asked that got
So
people
I
to
don't have the
boo him?
exact quote, and I'm looking for it, and maybe while you guys discuss it, I'll try and find the actual quote. But somebody asked him, the eternal question, right? Black Adam versus Superman. And so, he was very vague in who would win that fight, but he also mentioned that he's unsure of who's going to don the cape of Superman. And that's what got, the
Really?
entire crowd really up in arms, and they started booing him for saying that comment because everybody wants Henry Cavill to come back. In the last couple of days, there was speculation that he might actually show up at Comic-Con for a surprise
I
announcement,
read that.
you
I did
know,
read that, but
but
yeah.
it never came to fruition. And then when he mentioned that, it's almost like, to
Interesting.
quote something that's been going around this past week, it's almost like he was adding fuel to the fire because,
I do feel like that was done intentionally, to be honest with
yeah,
you, just to kind of like get like the speculation going and to show that he probably knows what's going on with Superman in the background.
oh,
As a matter of
absolutely,
fact, I will go as far as to say that I would not be surprised if Supes, whoever's going to be the Superman, is revealed in Black Adam.
yeah. Here's the exact quote, and this was to a response of whether his character Superman would win in a fight. He goes on to say, "That's a great question. Don't threaten me with a good time because I'm going to answer that question." Well, I will say, as you guys know, we're all in deep with this mythology, and it's been an age-old question of who would win a fight between Black Adam and Superman. So far, you're good, right? Pound for pound, they're pretty close. And here's the quote that really put the crowd into a tizzy. "I guess it probably all depends on who is playing Superman. I'm just going to say that. I'll leave it at that." I mean,
Damn. I mean, come on. He clearly
exactly,
knows. He clearly knows who it's gonna be. I bet you that if Superman does not show up at the very end, that it'll be a post credit scene.
hmm So,
AJ, what I mean, you're the Black Adam fan over here. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like this is being played up because we kind of do know who'd win.
Do we
Like,
though? Do we
really?
though? Do
Let
we
me let me
though?
let me put it this way. Superman's weak to magic. And in the one showing that they have had Black Adam fight Superman, Superman needed Shazam's help. I'm just going to leave that there.
Look, I'm not the DC guy. I don't know what's what. So this is kind of cool for me because I this is so here's the thing, right? So I know a lot of Marvel lore. I know squat about DC with the exception of Batman.
there
Batman
you
I'm
go.
pretty well versed in. So DC has like this awesome opportunity to wow me and they keep letting me down. I have no idea what would happen with Black Adam and Superman. That's something that I would love to see. You know what I mean? Please don't screw this up, guys at DC.
I think they already have, but whatever. It is what it is.
You
I
know,
mean,
us fans, we're very good at giving them chances over and over and over again.
yeah,
And
but
look, even Maul got a second chance, half a chance, but a second chance.
uh, biggest character in Star Wars, and you claim not to admit it. You know what I'm saying?
Biggest character? How can you say he's the biggest character in Star Wars? We all know
listen,
that that's Anakin.
listen. The Book of Boba Fett, it went straight into the garbage bin, and they burned that book. So I'll just leave it at that.
You know, again,
Burn.
second chances. At least he's still alive to get another.
The Republicans grabbed that book and burned it gladly. So
All right. So,
anyway,
anything
moving on.
else? Anything else before we get into the Marvel showcase? Anything else that came out of the Comic Con that you guys want to chat about?
I mean, like I said, they did mention that Amanda Waller is coming back. I mean, Viola Davis is coming back as Amanda Waller
As
in
Amanda
Black
Waller. Yeah.
Adam. Um,
Interesting.
the thing that you know kind of related to John Wick 4, Keanu Reeves' Berserker is actually coming to a series as Netflix.
That I knew about. Did they show anything about it, or they just made the official announcement?
It
The
well,
comic is super sick.
well, it's actually two things. It's a live action movie and an anime.
What?
So you're getting two. Berserker properties over at
Holy
Netflix.
crap. That's dope.
And just to round out probably the thing that interested me the most, and probably this is something that you're gonna appreciate also. Netflix's Sandman gets a first trailer.
That is right. How could I have forgotten? That was the first thing that I sent you guys when I saw it.
Yep.
Dude,
Marvel
I am
hysteria.
so excited for Sandman. You guys have no idea. This is my favorite story of all time. The way that Neil Gaiman you know expresses some interesting thoughts about dreams and the world and everything in the comic. I just can't wait to see it on screen. I am a little bit worried, in
Okay.
a sense.
Why?
Well, so American Gods, I thoroughly still enjoyed American Gods.
I like
Please
the
don't
first.
spoil season 3. I haven't seen it, or
I
the
like the
latest
I'm
first
not
season.
going to spoil
season.
anything,
I wasn't
but
too crazy about season 2.
well, the thing about
So,
American Gods is that the TV show, in a lot of places, it was pretty much like a carbon copy of the novel,
okay.
right? The graphic novel. Um, but in a lot of places, it was very different, and I'm worried about like them making. I know that like whenever I don't know, me personally, I don't necessarily like to see too much of a departure from the books to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe extending certain things or whatnot, or some things that happen in books that they give from a different point of view. But I don't like it when they change the story or change certain characters, like let's say their origin story or the way that their character is developed and so on and so forth. So I'm a little bit worried about that simply because of like some things being changed in pacing and story decisions and stuff like that in American Gods. So I really
So
hope they don't do that to Sandman, because Sandman is a timeless classic.
So let me ask you a question. And I'm going to plead ignorance because unfortunately I have not read Sandman, and bully on me for not doing that. But I saw the trailer and the trailer looked fantastic. I mean,
Yes.
it got me excited, and the thing comes out like within the next 2 weeks or
It
so.
comes out on August 5th
Yeah, so
in 2 weeks.
it's barreling toward us. Did you see anything in the trailer that worried you? Like what you were
Um
saying, did you see anything that felt out of place with the Sandman graphic novel?
not ex- It's hard to say because I haven't read the first book in a while, in a long time. So
Hmm.
it is hard for me to say, only because I just I just feel like some of the characters, the way that I read them in my head and the way that I read them in the book, just felt different from some of the snippets that I saw. But I don't want to judge it based off of the trailer, because I see 1 or 2 seconds of dialogue from certain characters and just have no idea, um, what how they're really gonna play the character and stuff. There are some stuff that I don't want to spoil, that I feel like is already kind of changed, that I'm not like super thrilled about. But yeah, that I won't speak on, because
Okay.
it has. And the thing is, I'm not sure though. That's the thing. I'm not sure if it's a change, because the way that in the first book, there's a character that gets revealed at the end of the book.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure if they just show the character in the trailer, or if that's just someone completely different and they're still saving the character to be revealed at the end of the season. That's what I'm
Okay.
hoping. So,
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out in 2 weeks.
yep.
I think this is definitely a show that we're probably going to talk about in length
Yeah,
on the
for
podcast
sure,
in the
for
future.
sure.
So,
The Sandman is it's the story that really brought Neil Gaiman to prominence. So
all right, good enough.
all right,
Let's
so
pivot. Let's pivot into Marvel.
guys,
I am
guys,
Groot.
no, please, let's not talk about that. Uh,
I'm so into that right now.
Let's talk about it. How Disney still wants to milk its baby
I
characters.
am Groot.
because they're on the Vin Diesel train, just milking whatever he can milk. You know,
He's only saying 3 words.
And making millions of dollars over it. I don't understand how
Yeah, I
that's
know.
possible. I guess if
He's
he can milk
blackmailing
cats, he
somebody
would
over
milk
there.
cats too.
Yeah, he's
No,
blackmailing somebody over there.
Seriously, guys, seriously.
All
There
right,
really is only one thing that we need to talk about.
Well, we there's a couple of things we could talk about.
There's
you know.
really, if we only had to pick one thing, this would be an easy question to answer.
Yeah, I know. I am
Black
Groot.
Panther. No, Black Panther.
I am.
Well,
How did you guys feel watching that trailer? I've seen the trailer at least 6 or 7 times already.
We've seen it probably like 3 or 4, right?
Like 2 or 3.
Yeah. I just feel that we can finally put to rest.
No, we cannot.
We can finally put to rest.
we
We
cannot.
actually kind of can.
We can.
No, we
finally
cannot.
put to
We will
rest.
talk about that in a moment, okay? But I want to talk about, like, all right, go ahead. You want to say
Killmonger is not coming back. As I said before, Shuri will be the new.
but
Black
that we
Panther.
already knew, though. We already knew
but,
that.
No, but people were saying, "Oh, well, you know what? Killmonger's gonna come back. He's gonna do this and that." That is, and the one picture that we got from Black
A
Panther,
booty shot, yes.
a booty shot. That is not Michael Jordan's booty shot. And trust me, I'm not looking at Michael Jordan's booty, but that
Michael
clearly
B. Jordan, just to be
Michael
clear.
B. Jordan. Yes, Michael B. Jordan. That is not his booty. So
Right, and I agree that that's not his booty in that frame.
Okay, no more butt talk. I've had enough of that with Halo.
Master Cheeks.
Just can it.
Yeah,
Listen,
there's a lot.
listen.
There's a
All
lot
right,
of.
all right.
There's a lot of cheek in geekdom lately, right?
All right, no, listen.
No.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Okay. Has Marvel ever photoshopped anything in their trailers to throw us off their scent?
I mean, actually, yes.
In almost every single trailer they reveal.
Yeah, but not booty shots. Booty shots you don't touch.
Nobody's saying, all right, so first of all, nobody's saying that that's not Shuri. It's most likely Shuri. Chances are, absolutely.
Definitely Shuri.
It could also be a photoshopped picture of Killmonger. It could be. It could be. It could be. It could be. Hold on. Just listen. Just listen. It could be Killmonger. Okay. It's very easy to make someone's legs and limbs thinner in Photoshop.
But
Okay,
why
number
go
one.
through all the trouble?
Yes.
The same reason they went through all the trouble to take out characters in Endgame trailer, to take out to take out all the extra Spider-Mans in the Homecoming trailer.
But
To
this is
throw
like
us off the
oddly
scent.
specific.
Listen, I'm gonna say this: if Black Panther Wakanda Forever finds a way to bring back Killmonger, I will be extremely pissed.
Really?
For the simple reason is that, you know what, villains have not been treated the best in the MCU. Although lately they've been getting their due. If there is one perfect ending for a villain, it was Killmonger's. And if you bring him back, the emotional weight of that scene with him and T'Challa is just destroyed. So,
It is not. No. It is not
Yes,
destroyed. No.
it is.
Listen to me.
Yes, it
Listen to me, Walter. There is. I would agree with you in 99 out of 100 examples of this. The one example that I don't agree with you on is this one. Why? Because one, it doesn't take it away from that very emotional and important ending. Because this is a very special circumstance. They're not reviving a villain just to revive him. They need someone that's going to be able to handle the mantle of Black Panther moving forward for the next phase,
which they do
for the next many years. And Shuri, yes, she's going to be the Black Panther, but even in the comics, it was a momentary thing.
See, the only way, and another reason, not only that, in terms of the way, Killmonger ended his arc, right? If you were to, and this is kind of out of their control, but if you were to bring him back, I would accept it if he had T'Challa to kind of counteract him. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole thing about Killmonger's story is that he was right in a sense, right? But the way he went about his actions was completely 180
And
degrees from
this
what T'Challa is. So
perfect.
if
I
you
love that you
brought
brought that up.
if you brought them back together, the dynamic between the two would have been fascinating to watch.
And
You don't have that same dynamic with Shuri. So
exactly. But see, here's the thing: nobody says that that he isn't going to be still contrasted with T'Challa. See, here's the way that I see it happening. He comes back. He doesn't want to be brought back, but he comes back, and he's basically the anti-hero. He is Vegeta, which essentially is exactly who he modeled his character after to be, in a sense, even down to his armor. But just listen before you nod your head, okay? He will be contrasted by T'Challa's forever legacy. Here's the thing: Chadwick Boseman isn't with us, okay? Rest his soul.
unfortunately,
And that is the reason that this works, is because we need somebody that can take over this mantle. But at the same time, his character, the legacy that he has left in this film, in the first Black Panther and the MCU as a whole, as well as in real life, okay, will be what Killmonger will contrast his life after. He will spend his entire, tenure as Black Panther trying to learn the lessons past T'Challa's death. Okay, he will come back. The way that I would write him, the way that I would see him, is that he comes back and he's trying to lead the life that T'Challa left, learning lessons beyond the grave. And that is what would make him as a Black Panther character amazing.
okay. Nah.
Come on. Oh
Nah.
my goodness.
Leave the man dead. Let him have his peace.
Not only
Let him-
that, all right. On a side, more emotional note,
Yes.
Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan were extremely close friends in real life. There really is no one else that could replace him.
And I think for that reason that he wouldn't want to step into that role. Am I right?
I don't know.
If you're best buds and that is his, you will forever remember Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Do you really want to step in that role and maybe overshadow the legacy that
I don't
he's
think.
left as a character?
He doesn't need to overshadow him. He just needs to honor him.
But that's my point. If he turns out to be a better Black Panther, God forbid, right?
That's going to
kind of
be
rough,
that's
man.
I think maybe, and I feel like you're just kind of playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
But
I fully admit it.
I just don't
it.
think, even if he plays like in a lot of ways, let's say he does happen to play a better Black Panther over the next 10 years or whatever amount of movies that he is Black Panther, okay, do you ever think that he would not honor Chadwick Boseman or T'Challa?
But it doesn't matter, because you know what? Then he's going to be recognized as the Black Panther. You lose all the stuff that Chadwick Boseman had done up until that point.
No, you do not. You absolutely. He's immortalized. He is absolutely immortalized. Let me ask
you a question. Does anybody remember Terrence Howard?
Yeah, no, nobody does. But Terrence Howard also was not T'Challa or Chadwick Boseman.
No,
Terrence
I know that.
Terrence Howard was not Chadwick Boseman's level, and Rhodey was also not T'Challa's level in character either.
I understand that, but it's kind of that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make, is that you replace a character with somebody else that conceivably does it better. You forget the first person that came around.
You only forget the first person if he's forgettable. Terrence Howard was very forgettable. All right. Off of that, I would say that that's still up in the air.
Leave the man dead. Leave the man dead. That's all I'm saying. All right. Anyway, there were other things.
The trailer itself, though.
There were
how
other
did it
things
make you? How did it make you feel?
Well, first of all, having who No Woman No Cry, that was by oh god, I remember his name.
Well, the original is by Bob Marley.
Yeah, Bob Marley, you know what I'm saying? And having that cover was just, I mean, if you ever want to classify a comic book trailer, a comic book movie trailer as powerful, I think this one kind of qualifies, because not very heavy in dialogue, right? You have that somber, you know, uh cover of that song, right? You have, and especially there was one that gave me chills when they showed the billboard of T'Challa in the middle of that trailer. I mean, that was about as good of a trailer, and that gives me real big hopes for the movie because that was spectacular. It really, really
You
was.
know, I think I do think that this is probably up there as one of the greatest trailers of all time because the trailer didn't only show what is to be expected, which is a movie that's going to honor Chadwick Boseman's life and his time as the character of T'Challa, Black Panther. But the
Hmm.
trailer itself reassured the public that we are gonna mourn Chadwick Boseman in this film, not just T'Challa the character, but Chadwick Boseman. They looked like they were mourning real life in there. It did not look like it was an acted scene in any way. Of course, they're professionals and they are acting, but there was real emotion behind some of those moments, behind some of those scenes. We see what seemed like a potential funeral uh, uh, going on and stuff.
Yeah, when Ramonda gets up there and she says, "You know what? My entire family is gone. I've given everything." I mean, that
Chills,
you felt
chills.
that
You feel
coming
that
through it. You know what I'm
real.
saying?
And that's the thing, like how many times does a trailer make you feel like there's a real uh like you're experiencing something real, not just a
Hmm.
film. Like the voices and the images, they just felt like these are real grieving people and stuff. So
I just
um
can't imagine how the actors felt when they were filming this film, knowing that Chadwick Boseman was not going to don the costume anymore. I mean, that's some real emotional weight that you have to process while you're doing this film,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it really bleeds through when you watch this trailer. Um,
And that was the first half. The
yeah,
second half was more about like,
They're screwed.
what do you mean they're screwed? Who's screwed?
They're all screwed because now the watery prince of douchery has arrived.
Yes, we got our first glimpse of Namor.
he
Or
looks
Namor.
awesome.
I grew up calling him Namor. I think they call him officially Namor.
Yeah, that's how I call him.
Um,
You know,
uh,
Namor the Submariner. Oh
yeah.
God.
so I'm kind of excited about this.
I'm also sad too because I would have loved to have seen the interplay between him and Chadwick. And again, I go back to that, but you know what? It's just those two in the comics have such a an interesting relationship, and to see that because they really are polar opposites of themselves. I
There,
mean,
yeah.
the Submariner is like AJ said, pretty much a douchebag, and then you
He's the
have
underwater Iron Man.
yeah, and you have the regal nature of Chadwick Boseman and his Black Panther. To see those two is one of those things that you know what we're never going to be able to see, and it's unfortunate and stuff, because
Yeah.
Shuri is not going to have that type. Shuri is you've already seen how Shuri is. She is more happy go lucky. She's the jokester and
I
stuff like
wanted to
that.
speak about that actually.
You know.
So here's one thing that I felt like I picked up in the trailer is an adult Shuri in her in the way that she walked and the way in her mannerisms, even
I
kind of
hope
like
so.
in that scene that was sort of recreated from the first Black Panther scene where she enters in and now she's got her little helper and whatnot. She entered in kind of the same way that Chadwick did and gave her the Wakanda dap in the first film. I felt like she was kind of exuding that Chadwick Boseman feel a little bit, like this is going to be a film figuratively and literally where she's had to grow up into into a role that she wasn't meant to have to take.
I hope that it's a gradual thing though, because I think doing one to the next might be a little bit too stark, and it may be a thing where the people are looking at it, it's like, oh well, since he's gone, she's got to do it, so now we have to change her character completely.
It's possible, but the way that it'll be done, and this is how I see it being done, is that if they show from the outset her going through the grieving process, okay, we'll see that she's had to grow up.
Yeah,
we'll see her grieving. So
that's what I want to say.
We're not gonna see her in this like, child. I don't want to say childish, but adolescent kind of nature, because she's gonna be in this grieving process and whatnot. And while I would still like to see that same energy and jokester vibe that she's displayed in the first film. Yeah. I think that when we see the scenes of her grieving and her having to take on the mantle and her having to go through the struggle of doing something that she wasn't ever expected to do and trying to live up to, Chadwick Boseman / T'Challa, I think that we'll see it all work together. So, but how do you feel she's going to handle all the struggles of being the de facto leader of Wakanda?
Well, the trailer kind of gives me a different vibe. It looks more like the Queen is the leader right now, not so much Shuri.
Hold on. Shuri, remind me, Shuri's his cousin?
Shuri's his sister.
She said, "I've lost my entire family." Does Shuri die?
No. That can't be. No.
Why would she say that?
That is an interesting thing. I hope they don't do that.
Why would she say that? If
well, I mean, maybe what she means is that as her being queen, and you had the events of Infinity War and Endgame, and the loss.
Even then, Civil War.
Yeah, and
they lost the original king.
I don't know, man.
You've lost a lot of your fellow countrymen. So maybe she's meaning it in that. I
don't know, man. That's
trauma is still there.
Yeah, but that's kind of like she's not speaking to the world. She's speaking to the people of, the Wakanda and the neighboring nations there. I know that they showed clips of like, the UN or some sort of like Western government while she was speaking, but when we see the shot of her speaking directly, she's in like what it seems like the Wakanda Council. I don't know, man. This would be kind of weird for her to say that I've lost my entire family. Have I not given up enough? With Shuri also there, because where would Shuri be? Not there.
Unless I don't know. Maybe.
It's an interesting thing. Man. It's kind of interesting.
Now you got me thinking, man.
Maybe something happens. All right. I really hope this doesn't happen though. But maybe something happens to Shuri, and they're like, "We need someone," and then they get Killmonger.
Oh no!
And I hope that that's not what they do.
No.
If that's how they get Killmonger, I would be very, very disappointed.
No. That can't happen. That can't happen. So,
that is an extremely powerful scene. That seems like the kind of line that's going to happen in a movie when they hit the point in the film, which is called the all is lost moment, where it seems like everything has gone wrong and there's no hope for victory. And something like Shuri dying would be that moment.
I mean, it could be one of those things in movies where you think the main character is dead, or the rest of the world thinks the main character is dead.
I mean, I hope that that's what it is.
They're really not.
I hope that that's what it is, because it wouldn't make any sense otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I really do hope that that's what it is, because...
but it's an interesting point, though, no?
It is, but it just...
Yeah,
that would not work for me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it wouldn't work. That yeah, they
And
can't pull it
I
off.
don't think
No.
Disney would do that, especially with their diversity push and stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah.
where you take a character, and put a
This
female
is
character in that mantle and then kill her off immediately. I mean, that's just not.
this is this is all speculation, but again, just thinking about like character development, story development, this is probably what's going to happen. I think Shuri realizes that the weight of the world and the weight of following T'Challa's footsteps are too great, and she ends up leaving, and that's what she means by I've lost my entire family. I feel like that's what'll happen, and then we'll see like the grand return. She'll come back to save Wakanda, donning the Black Panther suit. But see, here's the thing that I wanted to talk about with the suit. Going back to Killmonger, I didn't get to mention this earlier. Killmonger's suit was specifically black and gold, and
That's a
that
new
suit.
suit.
I know it's a new suit, but I'm saying it happens to also be black and gold. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just
No, no, no.
saying.
No.
We're
I can't
really
just say
going the Mephisto route.
Yes, we're back.
no.
to
We know
Mephisto
Mephisto's
again,
behind everything.
Oh my god.
That's a fact. Come on.
Oh,
Just
Lord.
accept it that we're gonna see Mephisto at some point in the next phase 5 or 6. Probably in phase 6.
What did you guys think of the reveal? Although we've known what Neymars looked like, his appearance for quite a while now. But what did you think of actually seeing him? Walking around and walking around.
I'm not a fan
You
of
know?
makeup. I'm not a fan of like how they're I know that he has like a very specific eyebrow look, but it doesn't it kind of looks a little amateurish, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Personally. What about you, AJ?
I mean, all I noticed was that he was using a trident, honestly, and that he was underwater, so I knew he was trouble.
Who would win?
I didn't really look that to that level of detail at him.
Who would win, Aquaman or Namor?
Here's the thing. I don't know the most about Namor, but I know at least somewhat of Aquaman.
I mean, we know a lot
Um,
if you see if you've seen Peacemaker, then we know some certain tidbits about Aquaman and dolphins.
I was more so talking about
Oh yes,
like other media, but
yes, sure.
in comics, yeah.
Yes.
I think definitely it's Aquaman. That's
Oh, so
probably
he doesn't have any.
he does have powers, but I always default to the fact that the DC characters
Our gods.
are yes, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's always my default when it comes to
All right, now
power
here's
levels,
here's the Marvel explanation via Thor is that we're only gods to you guys, but to everyone else, we're just regular people. And Superman is kind of the same thing. God, that looks kind of weird.
It actually
Why?
doesn't. Now that I'm looking at it, it really
Maybe you're
doesn't.
not seeing it from my point of view because he was shoving his nipple in my eyes.
Oh well.
Stop it!
I will say this: he looks like a furry because of those things behind his ears and stuff. In this particular picture, he looks very much
close.
like a fox.
It's close. I think it is
It's
close. I don't know. There's certain things I don't like about
It's
him.
not really what a furry is, but okay.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I take that back. It's more foxy than furry. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's
You know what I
the
think
thing
it is?
about
I think
it
it's
is
the hair. Like the hair, the hair kind of threw me off.
yeah.
because
There's something
because
about
like Namor. One of the things about Namor is that he has such a strong Willow's peak, and he usually has like slick back hair. It just doesn't feel exactly true to the comic. Like I'm putting up a picture of one of Jim Lee's Namor. Let me see. I don't know if it's kind of blurry.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
I know Neymar because I used to actually like him for a quick minute.
You
You know?
liked him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
so
was.
did I actually. I thought he
Yeah,
was awesome. He was like
exactly.
this awesome, like, kind of a Batman esque. Like, whenever he was kind of like an anti-hero type of guy, he was basically Batman. He was just like, I will help you Avengers if I feel like it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It was based on his, how he was feeling that particular
Yeah,
moment.
exactly. And
You
I kind
know.
of like that. I was like, damn, this guy like literally does whatever he wants if he feels like it. He will look at the Avengers struggling to do anything, and he'll be like,
Eh,
I gotta go see a thing about a dolphin.
yeah, exactly. Like for me, he was always the better version of Aquaman, because Aquaman was never really great in the comics until the recently when they matured him up and cut
Yeah,
up his
the
arm
thing,
and
well, here's
give
the
him.
thing, man. I feel like they took a page out of Namor's book.
Yeah,
Literally,
exactly.
even with Jason Momoa's, like, if you look at Jason Momoa's look, he has like the arching, eyebrows that Namor has. He has kind of like that menacing look, and he has like that whole like, Justice League, screw you guys, I do whatever I feel like doing.
Yeah.
Which Aquaman never really was. He was actually kind of like the goody two shoes of the JLA.
Mm-hmm. Which is not a good look, especially when you talk to fishes. So, whatever. So I mean, overall, I think the Black Panther trailer was pretty exciting. And like I said, it was a very powerful trailer, and that's the thing that really stuck out to me. But I think you needed something like that to honor, Bozeman, and I think if that's the kind of tone that we're gonna get for the movie, I think the movie's in good hands.
I am so excited for this and for the rest of the Marvel stuff that's happening. I mean, to be honest with you, before this trailer, and this is how powerful a trailer can be, before this trailer, and I think that you can, like, through our past conversations and even in some stuff in podcasts recently, I just feel like a lot of the Marvel stuff has been a bit of a letdown. I haven't really felt super excited about like a lot of things, just because Doctor Strange wasn't great, Thor was meh. Um, some of the stuff on the shows was just okay. Like, it just didn't feel great. And then this trailer now gives me hope again, because I'm like, man, if the movie's as half as good as this trailer is going to be, then I'm extremely excited. And this just kind of reassures me about the rest of the stuff that's announced. Honestly, I almost feel like everything that
Meh.
Marvel has done that's been a bit mediocre was like, all right, let's get all this, like, bad juju out of the way, and now let's do our thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the thing that struck me is I didn't realize, but we're at the end of Phase 4, which is kind of nuts, because it doesn't feel like we're at the end of a Marvel phase, so to
You know
speak,
what?
right?
Actually, it kind of does. And from a comic book world perspective, if you read a lot of comics continuously, whenever there's major events, the lull in between the major events, the comics themselves are very mediocre also.
Right.
And if this is kind of like, this might be a symptom of like doing major events where everything in between just feels disconnected, mediocre, like kind of like a filler, whatever. And if Phase 4 is the filler phase between the first three phases and the next three phases, then it makes sense that everything that they've put out has been a bit mediocre.
I think also the reason why it doesn't feel like Phase 4 is ending is the fact that we didn't get as many movies as we normally do, and it's mostly a lot of shows, and I think that's the thing that kind of feels a little different when it comes to this MCU.
The shows won't be a major part of it.
Yeah, I know.
The shows won't be necessary viewing.
I mean,
Said no one ever.
I don't know. I like the shows, even though I still haven't seen Moon Knight. But
All right, Moon Knight. You know what? Moon Knight is one of
it's a
those
filler.
weird things.
It's a filler.
It doesn't even track back to the MCU, to be quite
Exactly,
honest,
because it's a filler. It's like, hey, let's give you some stuff to read or watch right now, while we work on announcing the next big event.
Yeah. So we've got two more properties in the MCU for Phase 4. That is She-Hulk, that's coming up very, very soon, and we just talked about the other one, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Um, AJ, I know you have some very specific things regarding the end of Phase 5, but do you want to go through Phase 5 and let us know what's going on there?
Okay. So to start off Phase 5, we're gonna get Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's not September, sorry, February 17th of next year. Yes. What do y'all think on that? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Maybe
Well,
a potential Kang viewing.
Well, Kang is definitely involved. Apparently, Bill Murray is involved.
Who's Bill Murray?
Ghostbusters.
Are you serious? Wait, hold on. Was that a serious question, AJ?
Oh wait, that guy. Okay, yes, that
I
guy.
was
That
about
guy.
to give you an
Oh my
F for
gosh!
failing as a father,
Oh
Walt.
my
Okay.
gosh!
No, I remember now. I remember now.
He's not good with names. He's good with faces, or so they say. And we also get MODOK, who's going to be in that movie.
That's weird. I thought they kind of washed their hands of him.
Well, they washed the hands of the MODOK in Hulu,
Oh,
but not
Yeah,
MODOK
I think they kind of screwed
character.
that. You know, like I like I initially liked the idea of like putting some stuff off of Disney Plus, just to make sure keep like certain content, a little bit more in a specific area. But it obviously fell flat because I think people just didn't realize that it was on Hulu. Because when you think Marvel, you just think Disney Plus.
Well, I think it also there was a very specific reason for putting on Hulu because this was leftovers from the Fox universe. This was not a Marvel Studios production, so they were like, okay, we'll show it for you guys, but we're just gonna put it in the most obscure place, and we're not gonna give it any type of marketing. We're just putting it out there because we're fulfilling our obligation. You guys filmed it, we're gonna show it. I think that's what happened with MODOK. You know,
you know what I find interesting? Like I haven't even gone through all the titles yet, and I actually did a count. The shows outnumber the movies
for Phase 4.
for this next upcoming phase.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think it's part of their strategy where they're kind of trying to push Disney Plus as a thing. You know, I mean, for God's sake, they're trying to bring in Doctor Who onto Disney Plus as a platform just so that they have more content. You know, so they're really pushing Disney Plus, and Phase
It
5
shows. It
is part of that
shows.
strategy, right?
I don't know how much I like that it shows, but whatever, bro.
I've
All
never
right.
been a fan of Doctor Who. I have no idea anything about it.
Really?
It's not that I haven't been a fan. I've never even tried it. Try it like it's a freaking piece of something to consume. But like I've never like delved into anything Doctor Who.
Oh, we were all about the new versions of Doctor Who, not the older ones. The
Ooh.
ones that started with who was the first new Doctor Who? That was
Christopher
Christopher Eccleston?
Eccleston.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we started.
Yeah.
He
so-
was like 8 or 9, or maybe 7. No, probably like 8. That sounds more right.
yeah, but the new Doctor Who's are infinitely better just because the old ones don't age as well. So, but anyway, we're getting off topic here. But yes,
I'm excited for some
Next,
stuff in Phase 6.
yes. So next up, you got Secret Invasion happening now. I wonder how they're going to handle this one because the Skrulls seem good, but
Well-
maybe it could be that I was right all along and they weren't really good.
Well, I can lend a little bit to this because apparently there was a Secret Invasion trailer shown at Comic-Con.
Oh.
Now, unfortunately, we can't see it, but I do know a little bit of the specifics of it, and it does show Fury coming back. He's got 2 eyes now. He's got 3 scratches that he got from
I remember
in
him
Captain Marvel, right?
The cat.
The cat. I can't remember the cat's name. And he's coming back from his adventures in space, and apparently the scrolls are good, and we're gonna see. No, the scrolls that he deals with are good. Like for example, that
Oh,
guy.
so there's a
But there is
separate.
there is a
Okay.
separate faction that's infiltrating, and I think that's where you're going to see the bulk of the show, where they're going to try and root out and ferret these, bad scrolls, so to speak.
I see.
So Talon, I believe Talon was the guy, right? The good guy, the one that he dealt with.
I think so. That sounds right.
So they're gonna team up, and it looks like it may be like one of these buddy cop type things where they're going after the scrolls. It looks interesting. Everybody said that there was a really positive energy around the trailer. So we'll see.
All right,
We'll see
okay.
shortly.
Interesting. That comes out in spring of next year. Now, what doesn't come out? Well, no, it's still spring of next year. Sorry, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Right?
Isn't Volume 3? Isn't it Volume 5 or some shit?
No, believe it or not, it is Volume
Okay,
3.
yeah, so I
It's
was right.
Volume
It is
3. So we
Volume
got the
3.
holiday special coming out this year.
Yes, exactly.
May 6th or
Oh,
I
man.
think that says 5th. Yeah.
Okay, the important thing about that is that we are going to get the High Evolutionary involved in that movie.
Okay.
So,
You know,
Okay.
personally, I'm a little bit kind of over Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the first one, was okay with the second one, and the other instances in the overall MCU, they've been kind of meh. Like, I didn't like how they used the Guardians in the Infinity Saga in Endgame. And I guess it was kind of cool in Thor as a
No,
cameo.
I switched that. I was not. They were
It was just a
they were
cameo,
like
though, so I don't
they
mind
were
it.
they were box board cutouts in that movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were, but I'm kind of glad that they were.
yeah. So it does appear that this may be the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy. This was James Gunn saying that he said this is the end of that story. I'm sorry, some stories have an end. It doesn't mean everybody dies. There was a trailer that shows the Guardian ship being invaded by the Ravagers, led by Gamora of all people. And Adam Warlock does
Could have
make
been a
an
Skrull.
appearance.
Yep, I was gonna say it's about time that paid off.
Well, remember, Gamora, that's not our Gamora. That's
No, I'm talking about Adam Warlock.
Oh, Adam Warlock. Yeah, Adam Warlock is coming. He makes an appearance.
He's been
And then-
sleeping for like 2 or 3 phases.
Yeah. And the end of the trailer, it seems like we're going to get a shot of Rocket Raccoon's past.
God, he's worse than
Finally.
Thanos.
Yes. So we're going to find out exactly how Rocket became.
Okay.
So pretty interesting stuff. All right. Anyway, moving on, because there's a lot that we have to get through. So
moving on, we have Echo in the summer of next year,
which is close. I think they're already in post production on that. So that is a continuation. You know that we're gonna get Daredevil and Kingpin in that show for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But then
And
we're also getting a Daredevil show.
Yes, that one's gonna be interesting, and we're gonna talk about
Hell
that.
yeah.
Because that comes to the end, but this is a definite departure for what the Disney series have done. So, but let's keep going. We gotta get
Loki Season 2.
there. Which got the biggest pop of probably aside
cannot
from the
wait.
Daredevil announcement, that got the biggest pop in Hall H when Kevin Feige announced it. So
Yeah. I mean, Loki was just such a good show that I can't see how you couldn't fall in love with Loki the character and not be excited for the second season.
I would say it's probably the best show that Marvel has brought out so far.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Absolutely. For sure.
Mhm.
I mean, aside from the fact that it had such implications for the actual universe, whereas all the other shows seem to not have any implications for the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
If we don't see Kang in Quantumania, we have to see him in this show.
Well, I think we're definitely going to see Kang in Quantumania because, I mean, he's in the poster.
Yeah.
Wait, he is?
Yeah.
He's in Quantumania.
Yeah, he's in the poster.
That's confirmed.
Oh.
So
All right. Well, there you go.
So It's all about Kang. So
Yes, that's also summer of next year. But then there's the Marvels.
and
Mm.
we already got a brief notion of that at the end of Miss Marvel. Have you seen Miss Marvel yet?
Nope.
Okay. So we won't spoil it, but that brings back
That does a couple things.
yeah, that brings back Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, that brings back Miss Marvel herself, and that brings back Tiona Paris, who plays, I guess, the character of Photon.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You know, she's Monica Rambeau, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
So all three of them. Not a lot of specifics on that, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh, and that's July 28th. But this next one, this one is the one that's really got me going. The Blade movie.
Yes.
Yep.
Cannot wait
That
for
is
that.
only, aside from maybe Loki, that is the one thing that it just needs to happen, and I need to see it.
Well, that one we've got a whiles to wait. There was no trailer shown for that because filming actually hasn't started. That's going to start October of this year. So we'll get more information about that later on.
November 3rd cannot come any sooner.
Well, I'm just glad that we got Marshall on there. I mean, he is literally perfect for the role.
He is.
Yes. And then in fall of, so I said that was a movie. Next show, Ironheart. That's gonna be in fall. In the fall.
Yep. So with her, we got an introduction of her in
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and then she gets her own show proper
Oh,
too. So Riri Williams does show up in Black Panther at the
okay,
end of this year. So
interesting. And then another Disney Plus show, Agatha: Coven of Chaos. This one, I don't know. At least for me, it feels kind of out of left field because, like, oh wait, she didn't die. She got like trapped.
Yeah, she got trapped. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was kind of like. I think we knew that we were gonna get something specifically with Agatha.
I don't think that we need it though.
I don't think that
But
we need it, especially after Multiverse of Madness. The way that they did what they did with Wanda, it just doesn't feel. I mean, unless that this is the show that they're going to use to
bring her back.
Wanda, which is like, well, you shouldn't have killed her off in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They probably killed her off in order to give a reason to have Agatha. It just,
Or
I don't know.
did they?
You know what?
Kill her
You
off?
know what I think?
Well,
I
clearly
think
they didn't kill her off, but
Yeah.
I think that if anything, and this is the only time I will say it's not a stretch, because they sort of allude very, very minutely, so microscopically minutely, alluded to the demonic in Multiverse of Madness. I think you're going to get that enlarged in Agatha, and maybe, just maybe, you might see just an inkling of Mephisto. Just an inkling.
Mephisto rules.
Don't go overboard
As a matter
with
of fact,
it. Don't
you
go
know
overboard
what? You
with
know
it.
what? That is exactly why they're making Agatha. It's probably to help us understand Mephisto. Mephisto
That's
is
the
probably going to
only
get
thing I can
revealed.
see,
Yeah,
honestly.
Mephisto's probably going to get revealed before then, and then they're going to use Agatha to kind of talk about like who Mephisto is.
No. I don't think before then. I think in that show.
You know what's gonna end up
Because
happening?
that would really take the pop out of Mephisto. They need to reveal him in the movies, and they're going to be like, "Who the hell is that?" Watch Agatha to find out.
Well,
Eh.
my whole thing is by the time we do get Mephisto, it's like you said, who cares at that point? Because
I care.
all we hear
I
is
care so that we
Mephisto,
can talk
Mephisto,
about it
Mephisto,
on this
Mephisto.
podcast with AJ all the time.
All right, moving
Mephisto
on.
all the time.
There you go.
And now that's winter of 2023-24.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe this year, next year, maybe the year after that. But Something that is definitely happening in the spring of 2024, the year after that year, is Daredevil Born Again, another show.
I'm super
I'm
excited.
scared.
Why are you scared?
When you say born again, that makes me worry.
Well, no. So the reason it's Born Again is
It's a
because
comic run.
it's a comic run. Yeah,
Oh, it's a
very specific,
comic
and
run.
it's one of the most classic comic runs, Daredevil runs
It's
ever.
a Frank Miller run, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. It is. It is. Well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, yes, it is a Frank Miller run. Um, the original Daredevil was based on the Frank Miller Daredevil, so I don't necessarily see like how much more they can do with the Frank Miller world. I mean, I do. It's just that the best stuff from Frank Miller was kind of used already. So,
Yeah,
um,
this show is kind of weird. First of all, it is 18 episodes, which is a clear departure from, Disney Plus's 6 to 8 episode.
holy crap! Really?
18 episodes
They're bringing
Yep.
back
of
Electro.
Daredevil.
Yeah, they're bringing
But
back
here's
Electro.
the thing that weirds me out about this, because I think this is Disney's way of clearly saying that the Netflix Marvel Daredevil universe is not a thing. Because if you look at, especially at season
I don't
three,
know.
season three had a lot of elements from Born Again. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
know. That's what I'm saying.
And
That's what I'm saying.
so
That like I feel like a lot of it was already taken. But at the other aspect is Born Again could be bringing back, Elektra. Born Again could be, the Daredevil's reaffirmations with the with his religious side, as well as him kind of being born again as this lawyer, that
let
really
me
kind of becomes insanely popular as an attorney in the world of the MCU.
let
There's a
me let
lot of
me
things that could be born again.
yeah, but let me ask you a question, because I know you're a big Daredevil fan,
See,
Wolfie. And so we know that we already have Daredevil. We had him in Far From Home, right? I believe that was the last one.
Yes, he
So
was. Well, actually, that was
no,
No
Homecoming.
Way Home.
No
No
way
Way
home.
Home.
Yeah, No Way Home. Sorry, No Way
All of
Home.
those things
Yeah,
confuse the crap in it. The last Spider-Man movie,
yeah.
right? So we have his first appearance there. They are saying, of course, and it does make sense, that he's going to show up in She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
The question that I have here is this: I find it a little strange, and I understand why they have Born Again as the naming convention, because
Mm-hmm.
he's literally being born again
Mm-hmm.
in the
Yeah.
MCU.
Yeah.
But the storyline itself, it feels like we needed to have more Daredevil before we really dig into that whole Born Again Frank Miller storyline. Because that isn't the Born, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
isn't the Born Again thing where he has, he's already been Daredevil for a while, and this is kind of like his fall from grace?
Yes.
Could that be the
Yes.
reason why we have 18 episodes,
Yes, I
maybe?
was gonna say yes. That is the reason that is what Born Again is. But at the same time, that's also probably why we have so many episodes, because they're gonna show
Okay.
like an extended tenure of him as Daredevil, show like time as Daredevil, and then the fall from grace, and then the resurgence. As far as like seeing him in other properties, that is literally how Daredevil works in the comics. He shows up
Oh
in
yeah,
every single
absolutely.
comic as not as Daredevil, but as Matt Murdock.
Yeah. But
He's
the reason I
yeah.
mention that is because, you know what, like I said before, the Born Again would show him as being Daredevil, and exactly what you said, in these other properties, he's probably going to show up as Matt Murdock. We're not going to see a full Daredevil, although the last She-Hulk did show his new costume. So the last She-Hulk trailer. So
I'm so excited. I thought
yeah,
She-Hulk looked
exactly.
awesome. I'm really, really excited for She-Hulk now, especially seeing
They
the training
changed,
montage.
and
Love
they
it.
changed the CGI also. So
I don't
which
think it's that they changed the CGI. I just think that the initial clips that they showed us
maybe was a
was
rough.
just maybe not rough. It's just they showed us stuff that wasn't like anything important. In this trailer, we see the training montages, we see the action montages, we see like a little bit more of everything. I also really like Hulk as her trainer. In this, I think it's gonna be kind of funny.
What's up with the arm? The arm seems to be fully healed all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
that's no. You were never gonna keep the Hulk like that.
No, I know,
Yeah, I know,
but
absolutely.
it just feels weird. All right, let's finish out Phase 5 because I want to get into Phase 6, and we got not too much time to go. So
Yes.
let's get moving.
The next thing up, yeah, Captain America: New World Order. Oh boy. Wonder what's gonna happen there. Maybe the New World Order is I don't know what's that V nation that's ruled by that one guy with like two D's in his name.
Doctor Doom.
Maybe that comes to prominence. Who knows? Or maybe
Dude, I
Neymar
mean,
does a
Boss Logic
thing.
basically freaking like it when talking about the Avengers stuff, Secret Wars, and what's the other one? Kang Dynasty and Fantastic Four. He let out some. Obviously, it's not confirmed, but there's like this one image of very clearly Doctor Doom, and we all know that Boss Logic is in cahoots directly with Marvel.
Yep.
He basically leaks out the truth.
So it's a good way to kind of bring in Doctor Doom in time for Phase 6, right?
Yeah.
So
Phase
Phase 5 closes out with.
Oh, by the way, Captain America, that's May 3rd of 2024. But it closes out with probably the most problematic entry into this lineup, and that's the Thunderbolts.
Why is it problematic?
You don't have X-23, first of all. You don't have Ghost Rider, second of all. Can't have Red Hulk or Thunderbolt Ross unless you recast him, because otherwise he's dead. You don't have Venom. Oh, wait, yeah. Those are 4 essential members of the Thunderbolts. And is there a fifth one? Oh, well, I don't think there is.
Well,
so that's practically the whole team.
Clearly, from this point to that point, they're all going to be revealed.
Yeah, I happen to think so. Listen, Thunderbolts is that far ahead in the timeline that they'll have plenty of chances to kind of see these people in there. You know?
I mean,
yeah, they basically show their hand there. We know what cameos we're going to get.
Maybe I can see Blade kind of going there, but it'd be weird because he's normally a loner.
Well, but Blade can definitely bring in Ghost Rider.
I don't like that. Ghost Rider should have his own movie. I don't agree with that at all.
Well,
I don't like it.
I'm not saying bringing him in as a major character, but kind of like an end credit scene or just a quick appearance and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know, because remember Phase 6, which we're going to get into right now because I want to close this out. Phase 6 there's 3 announced movies, but there are about 6 or 7 placeholder dates that still are unfilled, and Kevin Feige refused to, fill those. So,
yeah, because it's probably these characters.
Yeah, it's probably these. You get the introduction of them in Thunderbolts, and then they go out and get their own.
No. I think that we see them in cameos.
Series.
No, I think that we see them in cameos everywhere, including Fantastic Four, which we still need to chat about. I think that we see them in cameos of those films, and then we see them come together in Thunderbolts, and then we see the solo films and TV shows after that in Phase 6.
But Thunderbolts comes before Fantastic Four.
Thunderbolts closes out Phase 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of problematic. And
okay, now I see where the problem is.
Yeah, that's where he was kind of going with that. I want to say one thing before we get fully into Phase 6. No Spider-Man movies.
It's probably going to be in Phase 6. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but that seems very, very interesting, and it also seems interesting in light of the fact that Marvel Animation is making a Spider-Man show called Spider-Man Freshman Year, and Tom Holland is not voicing the character, and he also did not voice the character in What If. So take that how you will. So
that happens often, though. That happens often with animated stuff.
Yeah, but they were good enough to bring in the actual actors for What If, except for him.
I guess, yeah.
And
So,
he's attached to Sony, and Sony is going full steam ahead with their Sony universe of Spider-Man characters. So
God, why?
yeah, so I
Marvel
don't
just buys.
know.
See, that's
I
the thing.
Yeah,
I want Marvel to buy
Sony.
Sony, but then I forget that it's Disney, and I don't want Disney to own any more properties. But Sony just sit back and just like
They're kind of
just
screwing the pooch
accept the
here,
fact
you
that
know.
Marvel prints money. Stop trying to do the work that you don't
I
know how to
know.
do.
I just don't get it. But that's
Sony is Michael
concerning.
Scott. Sony is Michael Scott on the basketball court. He's like, pass me the ball, pass me the ball. I'm the boss. You have to pass me the ball. You know, they're like, I'm gonna shoot the ball, even if I'm gonna miss. Pass me the ball.
So I
Like,
guess
why?
no, wouldn't that be Stanley
No,
in in that in
no,
that
no,
case,
no,
right?
no, 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 no.
Because he
Stanley,
gets the
Stanley,
ball because Michael thinks that
no.
for
Stanley is Morbius. Stanley is Morbius. Sony passed the ball to Morbius, and it was like complete flop. And they're like, "Are you kidding me?"
I don't know.
Oh God.
I find it weird and concerning that we didn't have any Spider-Man announcements and stuff, and I fear for the character that he may not be as involved in the MCU going forward, just because of
Phase
Sony's
6.
insistence, like you said, on
And
taking the
there's oh
character.
shoot, there's that
I
too.
don't think that Tom Holland will be the major Spider-Man when the next Spider-Man trilogy comes out. I think Tom Holland
Yeah.
has done his work, and Tom Holland, based on the kind of um, uh, actor that he is, you can tell that he doesn't want to be typecast as Spider-Man. He wants to branch out. He wants to do more, and I'm sure that he's voiced that and he's fulfilled his obligations and stuff. And I don't think that bringing back Tom Holland for the major Spider-Man, the next major iteration of Spider-Man would be good. I don't think that it would add anything more. I think that he will for sure come back in snippets and in parts, maybe in the Venomverse, fulfill like some of those roles there. And then when that's done, there will be a brand new Spider-Man.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know that Sony's trying to develop Sinister Six. They're bringing in Craven, so you probably are going to get the Craven's Hunt
Yeah.
storyline somewhere, right? But it
But
is what it is.
there's also the fact that it's Sony's, and Marvel probably doesn't want to go completely all in on their MCU universe through Sony.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
agree with
know
that.
how Sony can mess things up, so they're like, well, we're not going to make a hard commitment to anything.
Yeah, I know,
So,
and like I said, that's kind of it's kind of sad because
yeah.
Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man. He is a great Peter Parker.
I
So
bet you that he will be in the coming Avengers films and stuff, and then that will be the end of Tom Holland as Spider
all
Man.
right. Well, let's talk about Phase 6. Fantastic Four is coming up. That's the first iteration, and then Phase 6 ends with two movies coming at 6 months apart. That is the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Um, Interesting that those are your two endpoints for Phase 6, and they come so quickly together. It's almost like it's a part one and a part two, right?
Yeah, it's I think that this is kind of like going to be the most exciting time for Marvel. I think with the first like
2 years away or 3 years
oh,
away.
yeah, yeah. But I just think like with the first, when we had like, the Infinity War and the whole nine, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. But I don't necessarily think that it is the best, story in a way. I think it was a really cool story. I think Secret Wars, Doctor Doom, these are my favorite stories. And I can't wait for Marvel to get it done right.
Yeah,
Unlike Fox. Please
yeah,
no Jessica Alba.
yeah. I know. Just one thing interesting to note before we wrap things up here. Kevin Feige did mention that the Russos probably are not going to be involved with Secret Wars. So,
Really?
just so you know, the Russos did say that they would come back to the Marvel if Secret Wars was on the plate. Kevin Feige has kind of said, probably not. But
You know,
you know what?
I'm cool with that. I'm cool
It's
with
still
that.
early. So
No, but you
you
know
know,
what? I'm cool with that. The reason for it is because you know, if you want a fresh start, you got to also have fresh looks. You know, if you keep
Yeah,
bringing back the Russos, it's just gonna feel like all the other stuff that we've been, seeing for the last 15 years, I guess.
I concur
mhm.
with that.
Yeah.
With all the stuff they're putting out, they gotta liven it up because I'm already starting to feel the fatigue
Yeah,
again.
they got to change up the look and feel of it, a little bit. It's the same thing that happens with like comic book runs. You can have like Frank Miller can be on a comic book forever, but when you need to retell a story or revamp a story, you can't bring in the same writers. You just the error's been done, the look and feel of it's been done. Let it live for what it is, and bring in a new crew to do for better or worse.
Yeah.
But it's got to be different.
But it's interesting because Feige goes and he says they're not attached to either Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, but they do want to find something to do together, just not that. That is a
Yeah,
comment to
yeah.
say, hey guys, don't expect them to be on Secret Wars. And that's also a comment to kind of say, yeah, we may want to do something together. Hopefully you guys forget this in a couple of years because we're not going back to those guys.
Maybe,
That's a very
maybe they do. Maybe they go back to them for some other, things in some other ways. But the Avengers movies are the
those are the tent poles.
those are the tent poles of everything, right? So like those are the ones that basically define the message of the rest of the films.
Yep.
So they got to make sure that they have the right look and feel, not just the right feel, but the right look and feel for how they want to express that. So.
Yeah.
I would like a little bit less comedy, to be honest, but that's
All
just
right.
me.
Well, we'll
Anyway,
see. Yeah. So that kind of wraps up San Diego Comic-Con. There was a lot of stuff,
San
especially
Diego, San
San
Diego.
Diego. Yeah, exactly. There was a lot of stuff, especially on the Marvel side. They kind of dominated everything, and rightfully so because they have probably the most recognizable brand right now out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
So of course they're taking over San Diego Comic-Con. New York Comic-Con is coming in October. Let's see what that brings, what announcement that brings. And I think we'll wrap this show right now, right?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I'm all done. Any other final thoughts, AJ?
The only thought I have is that Blade is coming, and maybe, just maybe, and hopefully not disappointingly, Mephisto.
Anyway.
But
All right.
that's only for that one show.
Okay. No, please. No Mephisto, no Killmonger. Anyway, more Maul, though. More Maul, please. Thank you very much. Anyway, again, just please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Hopefully you got to the end of the show. And if you did, thank you for listening in. We will be back next time with some more geeky stuff. But until then, guys, do I steal Jose's line here or do I make up my own?
It's not Jose's. It's the podcast.
All right. Then in that case,
Stay
guys.
geeky, my friends.
Ooh, someone
There
stole
you
it
go.
right out of your mouth.
I know. I feel bad. All right. Later, people.
Peace.